podcast where we put ourselves first without guilt, because if we don't, who will? Today we are going to talk about the rage that nobody wants to talk about. But before we do that, how are you doing, my dear cousin?
Hello, hello. I'm doing very well. Just came from a 9-day vacation in Spain. And
Nice.
so, yeah, that was nice and
You had your
refreshing.
anniversary, right?
Yes, it was my fifth year anniversary marriage.
Wow. How's
And
the
how are
weather?
you? Weather in Spain, it's lovely.
Uh,
Always.
my coworkers always tell me that Spain has one of the best weathers in the world. And I have a lot of coworkers who travel quite a bit. I'm gonna guess that's probably why you chose the second home, huh?
Absolutely. My husband and I has been researching for a place, a second home, winter
Mm-hmm.
house, we call it.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
And it's been years, and that's the perfect place. Like we research the best weather during winter in Canada, and that's Costa del Sol in Spain. It's 300 plus days of sun all year, so it's good
300
for
plus.
the mental health and overall wellness. So we're
Absolutely.
really blessed. Yeah,
Yeah. What did they say about sunshine? It makes you feel better.
exactly
It's
right.
like a natural vitamin D. I'm doing
Yeah.
well. I'm doing well. Thank you. I wanted to let you know we went to Comic Con after a long hiatus. Matt hasn't been there since 2018. I haven't been there since 2014, and it was a whole lot of fun, but a whole lot of tiring, man.
Wow, that must be so exciting. I've never been to one. So,
So Comic Con is fun, but yeah, you have to have a love for the art, is what I think it is. But it amazes me how different people from different walks of life just come together and they share this passion to put this art together, which are their costumes, and they just show off. Like I met a couple people while we were over at the Gaslamp District. I met a lawyer, I met a computer person, I met a teacher, and all of them are dressed in their favorite characters. I think that's amazing and it's super fascinating.
that sounds
So
really fun. And I heard that there was a lot of attendance, right?
it is, and to be honest, I felt like they probably over crowded the entire place. We were looking at the news, and they said 160,000 attendees, and I was like, "Ooh, that's not real. That's not true. That can't be." We were there Friday, Saturday. We didn't go back on Sunday, but Friday wasn't too bad. Saturday, wall to wall people. And it gets worse because a lot of people are in costumes, and sometimes their costumes kind of get clunky walking around the area. But man, you'd be fascinated. The costumes were beautiful. Some spend probably one of the things you might have seen on the news is Galactus from Fantastic Four. He's like a
Mm-hmm.
purple giant robot,
Okay.
and that costume was worth $35,000 US to
Oh
make,
my gosh.
isn't it?
That's so
And
crazy.
yeah, and the artist said that he would typically take something like that and sell it to like Marvel for 70K.
Oh, well, yeah, at least he makes money, a lot of money with it. That's
Yeah, they do. So what happens, I guess, is that they get commissioned by, whatever these studios are. So like this time it's Fantastic Four. So Marvel commissioned them to show. So there's at least four people kind of trying to put it together because Galactus was a giant 15-foot robot.
hmm
And the dude was on stilts. It's pretty amazing. You should look him up.
that's awesome.
I was amazed. I had a lot of fun. Of course, I saw my childhood love for Voltus 5 and Voltron, and Voltron was there.
Really? Wow. It
Yeah,
brings you back to those days, huh?
it does. But actually, you
hmm
know what? If you can't quite see it, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but
I
up
saw
there,
some, yeah.
can you see
I
that?
saw
So
some.
up there is the 40th anniversary Voltron robot. It's a die-cast metal five-piece lion, and
Wow.
I will not share how much we paid for it.
How much? Okay, I'm gonna ask
I
you later.
have I have absolutely no justification. You know what? I'm gonna tell you. For me, it's free because Matt bought it for me, but
Okay.
it was like
Yeah.
$379
Oh, wow.
for
Oh my gosh,
for
that's
a
fine. Yeah,
robot.
yeah. Wow.
Anyways, let us chat real talk today on the rage that no one talks about. So you and I were talking earlier before the podcast came on. You said something about, it sounds like in our culture, the older people just gets crankier, period. But now it sounds like there may be a reason for it. What is your experience? Tell me, do you have rage that you
Oh,
don't talk about?
yeah, I had one too many actually. Yeah. First of all, when I was younger, it was a cultural thing. You know how it is in the Philippines, right? We like to yell and it's a cultural thing. And then I brought that here with me in Canada. But that's different because you can totally feel it. Hormonal rage for me is like, and this happens. At the beginning, I wasn't paying attention too much, but every time I'm close to my period, I just feel like the heat. I have no patience, and small things irritate me. And then when I'm in that state, and there's something, it turns into a fight. That's what I'm saying with my husband, and then I can't control my emotions. It's really hard. Like I feel helpless when it comes to my emotions when I was at this stage. Thankfully, it hasn't been like that for a while. But it feels uncontrollable and I feel helpless. And then the guilt after that, the fear, the guilt, it's overwhelming. So it's not fun.
That's pretty crazy. So, it's amazing you say that, right? Because for me, I've practiced being self-aware. But because I'm self-aware, I now start to say, this is kind of annoying, so I have a little story for you. I haven't been able to sleep recently. I don't know if it's because work stress, but I have a challenge sleeping, and I look at my husband and he's fast asleep, and I'm like, how dare you sleep? And I can't sleep, and you're nicely sleeping. I almost want to wake him up. Like, hey, if I'm gonna suffer, you're gonna suffer. But it's like, but then I'm also sitting down saying, why am I so stupidly annoyed that I can't sleep and he can? I mean, the dude is not postmenopausal. I mean, they probably go through their own hormone issues, but I'm like, why? So now I'm annoyed, and because I'm annoyed, I'm triggered, and because I'm triggered, I'm even more awake, and I can't calm down so that I can go to sleep. So that to me, but I do understand what you're saying, where you said that when you were younger, you were impatient, so you kind of could notice when you start to get angry. I don't know if that's true with me, but I do know that some days, I mean, obviously because I don't have my period anymore, but I do know that I probably still have some sort of a hormonal cycle that goes
For
through throughout
sure.
the month. And I do notice that some days my patience is just so much shorter than others. And I'm guessing that's probably why. So maybe tell me, do you do anything about it? What do you do about it?
Oh, you know what? That's absolutely true. Just because you're already postmenopausal, it doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
that your hormones are not doing anything to your body anymore. Like for women who are not into bioidentical HRT, it's even hard. It's even worse for them because the things that they're gonna experience are the ones that you don't see, like heart disease and osteoporosis and brain degeneration, those kind of things. And also, it doesn't mean that when you're on bioidentical HRT, your mood should be stable because these are just microdoses of hormones. So there's still a lot of things happening in your body. Your cortisol level, like you said, you're stressed from work, still goes up and down, and you're sensitive. So these things, we should give ourselves grace because it's our very biology that's doing this to us. And I think it's a good thing to know this because some women, like I was like this before. I give myself a hard time with all the guilt that I feel after. Of course, I am. I apologize for. I tell my husband I'm apologizing to him for my reaction, and I'm not proud of it. And since I became aware of that, it's helped our relationship tremendously. So when I'm feeling off, I would tell him it. I'm close to my period, so just be more patient with me. So I
I was gonna
guess
say,
that's what it is.
I'm close to my period. Stay away from me.
Yes, yes, pretty much. Yeah. No eye contact.
Do you remember the little babies who get mad because you made eye contact with them and they cry? That's almost the same.
It's really funny. I have a neighbor here. We're very good friends with this couple. So him, the husband, they have three daughters and the mother. So that's four women in the family. Uh, and then they sync up. I think I've heard this a lot of time when you're all living in the same place, like women, they sync their period, and they said it's so hard because you have to avoid any stress to those women because you're definitely gonna regret it. And then no eye contact, and then it was just so funny how he's telling the story. It's a disaster, and then soon they're gonna let them fight with each other, and then you just get out of the room. Poor guy, huh?
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
Can you imagine when they all go through perimenopause? I mean, I can imagine everybody in the house is probably within 15 years of each other, which means there will be a time when
Oh,
everybody will go through the change and they will be in different stages, but
good
all
luck.
in there at the same time.
Yeah.
Man, that dude needs to reward himself with
Yeah.
something fun. So you're telling me you did bioidentical HRT because you started it, right?
I did.
So is it helping?
Oh, it helped a lot, tremendously. First of all, our moods when they go up and down, it's because of our progesterone. Progesterone is really the precursor of all of these things because it's the first hormone that declines. So it's the one that affects your mood, your patience, yeah, you feel all those mental and emotional things when your progesterone starts to go down. And that's when I had it at age 38, but then I had to wait 3 years after before I would realize that it's perimenopause. And then I started to take a progesterone HRT. And the first day I was tracking down all of my symptoms, and I was so in tune with my body. It's not that I want to get everything right, but I really want to know what is happening with my body. So the first day that I had my first progesterone pill, I noticed that there's really a huge calmness in my body that I felt. So that was it. And then when I realized that, hey, yeah, this is definitely what's causing it. So I'm not crazy. I am not going crazy. I'm just not picking a fight or whenever I want. I don't have a bad attitude or something. It's just that my body needs help and I have to respond in ways that I wasn't familiar with. But it's what's comforting is there's a lot of help out there.
I love that because I mean, if you understand, I mean, there's nothing wrong with knowing your body, right? So if you know what's going on, you can communicate it with your partner or whoever it is you're with, and you can pretty much say, "Hey, I'm gonna go through this cycle, just so you know, it's not you, it's me." And I don't think there's anything wrong with that conversation. That I think that's healthy that you're
Those are
able to say.
necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, honestly, what I find is I need to kind of find my center when I get super angry. I didn't even think that progesterone was actually helping, but I'm gonna experiment. I moved my progesterone recently from morning. I moved it back to night, but I moved it earlier because before I would take my medicine at 8 or 9, and so I couldn't fall asleep right away. So I moved it to like 5:30 p.m. and 6, and I'm finding that that's helping me somewhat. But I'm going to pay attention now because you mentioned progesterone. I'm going to pay attention to see how it impacts how I deal with stress and anger. And it just seems so silly to sit down and be like, why am I pissed off about somebody being able to sleep? Why am I pissed off because somebody was chewing their gum too loud? It just does not make sense.
I know it doesn't, but as I said, sometimes with these things we cannot control, and you just have to give space to that. I think what helped me also
That's
was
true.
to give space with the emotion that you're feeling, because most of us, our pain comes from resisting these feelings. You know, when I feel something, I just tell myself, oh, I don't want to feel this because it doesn't make me like a good person. I don't want to feel this thing. But if I tell myself, hey, this is what I'm feeling right now, you can. It's okay to feel like this. And then I become softer and I relax into it and then it goes away.
I love that.
So,
I love that. I love that a lot. One tip though, moving into tips. One tip that I kind of want to share, I think, is that maybe looking for what triggers you as well. I mean, you're right. You're triggered by something silly, but it's a trigger. It's a trigger. It's legitimate, right? Nothing makes it not legit just because it's silly. So I think if you're finding out what your triggers are, you know better to either avoid them or you just figure out how to handle it yourself. So, and then, like I said, for me, I don't know if it's work stress or I'm just burnt out. So, anyways, what is your other tip
Absolutely.
besides taking your medication?
I think it's connected to what you said. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's about learning your triggers. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
This one you have to do in every day of your life, working on yourself.
That's true.
And regulating your nervous system. Like you mentioned from our other episodes,
Mm-hmm.
breath work and, tapping. They said tapping. It helps,
Ooh, I've never
to
done that.
take space. Yeah, just give yourself time. You don't have to react. You don't have to respond immediately. But if you're feeling overwhelmed or just tapping and breath work,
It's
those
funny you
that's my
say
tip.
that. So, giving yourself time before you respond is a very common therapist recommendation for almost anything. When something happens, do not react right away. And I really love that you said that. So, moving on to our next segment, your me first moment. Do you have a me first moment this week?
This week, yes, I did. My
Okay.
me first moment was there's a lot. Well, yeah,
That's
well,
okay.
most of our trips, most of our like because we were in Spain, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
chose most of the restaurants, most of the places that we want to visit, most of the yeah, the because it was our anniversary, so I get to choose where and how we were gonna spend it. So that was my me first moment.
Oh,
There's a lot.
that's awesome.
Yeah, my
You
husband.
know, it's funny you say that because between my husband and I, we talk about, restaurants and eating out. He'll say, I'll say something like, "Hey, you want to go date night?" And he's like, "Okay, I'll take you date night. Where do you want to eat?" And I say, "I don't know. You tell me where you want to eat." And he'll say, "You tell me where you want to eat because if I make a suggestion, you're going to say no." And you know what? He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
That is so true. For Matt.
Yes.
I see a lot of videos like this. It's so funny.
He's not wrong. I do that because he'll say, "Oh, do you want to go here?" And I'm like, no. But then so hey, that sounds like a really good anniversary. For me, my me first moment was actually taking a break off of everything yesterday. I didn't post anything on social media. I didn't look at social media. I didn't record any videos. I stayed in bed.
Good for you. Congratulations.
So yeah, it's much needed. It's a much needed break that I needed to give myself so that I can catch up because I actually hit the point where I cannot think of what content to make. And if I
Mm.
did, I just wasn't kind of feeling it. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna film today. And then so I just stayed in bed and I started watching this new TV show on Apple TV called Shrinking, which has Jason Segel and Harrison Ford.
Was it
So
good?
it's actually really good. If you have Apple TV, find it.
Hmm.
I want to watch more of it. I think I only saw one and a half of an episode, but it talks about like therapists and how therapists handle different things. So
Wow, interesting.
yeah, it was interesting for me. I just have way too much things going on that I'm juggling. So,
I know. You better, yeah, take it
yeah,
slow.
we'll get there. We'll get there. Anyways, as we wrap up, what is it that you promise for yourself? What is going to be your me first promise this week?
I want to do this more often, but not needing to apologize for asking for space. I don't have to ask for
You
needing
don't have
space,
to, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. You don't
Before
have to apologize for
reacting.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
love
the one.
that. Um, what would be my me first moment? I think I'd probably maybe make room for when I'm angry. For when I'm angry, I'm not going to suppress it. I'm just going to say, I'm going to give myself 5 minutes to, get mad so that I can handle my
True.
emotion.
Yeah, I think that's one of the
Yeah.
things that we should be doing. Otherwise, it's gonna eat you up, you know.
Yes, doesn't it sound silly? Because a lot of times you have a tendency to kind of suppress, especially, when you're with somebody like, well, he didn't do anything, so I don't want to piss him off even more.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Mm-hmm.
like someone like me, I mean, I can't really be angry. I have a meeting in 5 minutes, so we have a tendency to kind of put it aside and not pay attention to it. But I do think we should, like, hey, I mean, for me, I'm just thinking there's nothing wrong if I'm 2 minutes late into a meeting because I wanted to give myself a break. So I think that's really
Absolutely.
awesome. I love that. That's a good promise. We made good promises this
I
week.
know. Yeah. I'm proud of
Yep.
us.
So as we come to the close of our episode 7, we always ask everybody to please, please, please follow Awendra on all of the socials: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We are at the Awendra. And also follow the Me First podcast, subscribe, and then join the Me First movement and sign up to our mailing list. We have a mailing list. Just any of our socials, type VIP, and you're going to get two ebooks and a recipe for a high protein and high fiber, right? Granola.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You could, I'm gonna try that one of these days. I'm gonna put it on uh, yogurt because
It's
I'm
very
trying to I'm
good.
trying to do better with yogurt. Yep. Anyways, we will see you next week, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.